It goes from bad to worse for Manchester United. I'm recording this on New Year's Day, and they are, in my opinion, in a relegation fight. We keep losing. It is a nightmare. Man City, on the other hand, well, I mean, he's not been much better in recent times, but that has been the worst spate of form, and it's been such an anomaly in the last few years, and they've had so much success that it is very much an anomaly. Well, what has fostered that winning mentality at Manchester City? Is it the club? Is it the manager? Or is it the players? And what is the problem at Manchester United? Is it the players, the club, the manager, whatever? Well, today, I'm switcherooing the old squads. So all the players from Man United will play for Man City and vice versa. And see how Football Manager thinks they'll do. Let's jump in. So, of course, I had to do this on a previous database to do the swap, make it all easy in the pre-game editor, which means I couldn't use a updated database sort of thing. So Manchester United have still got the big bald man in charge. No Ruben Amorim here. Man City. So all these players from Manchester United, Kevin De Bruyne, Erling Haaland, Rodri, Bernardo Silva, blah, blah, blah. And you've got Rafael Varane, who is still at United by this point. He's at Manchester City, who, of course, still got Pep in charge. Over the course of this experiment, you've still got the captain and vice captain of these two, but you've got the key players and hot prospects of, well, they can't see the hot prospect. It's Rasmus Højlund. There was a Premier Division then. So what's the media expecting them to do? Well, the media thinks Man United are going to win it. And they think Man City are going to finish 5th. Not sure why it's showing Manchester City have got Champions League football, but nobody else have. And West Ham have got Europa League football. Is that because they won the Conference League and City won the Champions League back when this was starting out? Maybe. I'm not too sure. But anyway, the media thinks that Manchester United are going to do very, very well, and Erik ten Hag is going to do very, very well. We've got all the players, even the players out on loan, are all out at Manchester United. They will all return at the end of the season, and I guess they'll be able to do what they want to do with them. But we've got them all on the shortlist to see where they end up. Now, what will be interesting is if players that go from Man City... what will be interesting is if some of the players actually go back to City or United respectively, because it could happen. It could very much happen. So we're going to jump through just the first season to see how things get on. It could be very, very interesting. I mean, realistically, I think because the way Man City are coded on the game with the sugar daddy and the Saudis and all that jazz, they're just having such an influx of money. And we've got Pep in charge. Now, will Pep survive? I think over the course of 5 or 6 years, City will sort of bounce back and be winning the league again because they'll have a lot of money to spend and they'll be spending a lot of money and their reputation is up there. I mean, Manchester United's reputation is also up there as well. Is it worldwide 5-star? It's 4.5-star. It is worldwide. I don't think you're going to struggle to get players to come to United, especially because they are going to get Champions League football after this first season with the City squad. Almost certainly. Anyway, let's go through forward 1 year to see how that first season went. Okay. So that's mental. Manchester City finished 3rd with the United squad. And they've got £260 million to spend. And Manchester United finished 5th with the City squad. Now, City, I mean, they've already got rid of Ten Hag. They already got rid of him. Why? Due to the club's poor league position in March. I mean, I suppose 5th. I mean, we can't go and look at past positions, unfortunately. We can look at the schedule. We got to the Champions League final losing on penalties and lost in the FA Cup final as well. I mean, they did win a lot of games in April to sort of potentially bounce back. They're probably getting qualification for the Europa League. So Erik ten Hag's done very poorly. They've only got £71 million to spend. They've already spent quite a bit of money as well. They bought David Raum from Leipzig, Strahina Pavlovic from Salzburg, and they've got Gabriel Misahuri, who is coming on a free from Ajax. So Misahuri, he's not a bad player actually, 163 potential. If he gets there, he's balanced, but he's got decent professionalism. 13. Maybe it's not quite what we're after, but he's only 18, so he's got a bit of time to progress and develop. Will he do that? That remains to be seen. But Manchester United finishing in 5th as Manchester City, which is like unheard of. Man City never finish 5th, do they? So that's very, very, very telling already. Man City finishing in 3rd it's somewhat an overachievement for Manchester United in their squad, to be perfectly honest. Why is Anthony called Anthony Mateus dos Santos all of a sudden? So they've not really sold anyone. They let Brandon Williams and Anthony Martial go. Will Fish, he's gone out on loan. Radik Vitek has also departed on loan. They did buy, in January, they bought Brace Mendes from Real Sociedad for £51 million and Danny Namasso from Porto for about £40 million. Now, to me, they are not Premier League winning quality. They've spent £90 million on 2 players that are, in my opinion, squad options. Not enough. That's bad transfer policy, that is. And that is not very Man City-like, to be perfectly honest. And very un-Pep-like, because Pep does much bigger and better things in the transfer market. So, yeah. Didn't win any trophies either. Arsenal won the Carabao Cup and the Premier League, so a great season for Arsenal. And it was Real Madrid that won the Champions League, of course. We already saw that because they beat Manchester United on penalties. So, the first season's in the books, and very interesting. Very interesting indeed, to be perfectly honest. I didn't think in the first season United would finish ahead of City. I didn't think City... Sorry. In the first season, I didn't think City would finish ahead of United. But I didn't think United would finish as low as 5th with the City squad. What's the media saying this season? The media thinks United are going to win the league. And understandably, you've got Erling Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne and all those players. So the media thinks you're going to do it. The media thinks Man City are going to be in 5th. Once again, so it's the same as last season. The question is, will it be? Let's go another season and find out. Okay, so interestingly, Manchester United have managed to finish 2nd this season, which is, of course, Manchester City. And Man City are now in 5th. So Man City are where they expected to be, or where the media expected them to be. Now, they've let Pep go, or Pep let them go. He went to PSG. He couldn't be bothered. He saw this Manchester United squad and said, nah. He's gone to PSG and won the Champions League with them as well. So Carlo Ancelotti's come in, and he, of course, usually does pretty good. I mean, Carlo Ancelotti here is saying it's a 4-2-3-1, but he's normally got a diamond. They've signed Jamal Musiala for £107 million. Big signing. They've also signed Nico Gonzalez for £54 million from Porto. That's a much better signing. Mikhail Tomori as well. They've actually signed Joshua Zirkzee from Bologna. Like, they've genuinely signed Zirkzee. I, in my head, thought Zirkzee was already there because, of course, in real life, he is at United. But this is on a previous database where he's not actually there. So that's mental, isn't it? That's absolutely crazy. Who else did Man City sign then? So yeah, we've seen this sign Tomori, Gonzalez, Zirkzee. Facundo Farias from Inter Miami. Jamal Musiala, and then Strahinja Irakovic. So, all in all, a pretty decent window. £229 million spent, only recouping £4.1 million. But they had the money to spend, and spend it they did. And that was all Pep, apart from Jamal Musiala in the January. Oh, so Strahinja Irakovic has literally just been signed a week ago. Jamal Musiala was in January, so that was Carlo Ancelotti. But they did finish 5th, so they need to improve. They do need to improve. And it was Liverpool who won the league by a singular point ahead of United. Let's have a quick look at the fixtures and results. United won on the final day, and so did Liverpool, so it wasn't like it was a last day sort of bit of drama. And who else did they sign? Well, we saw they'd signed Pavlovic. They signed Benjamin Henrichs from Leipzig, £32 million, and then nothing. Actually recouping £36 million, letting Akanji go. That's and Kovacic. Okay, so they've not spent big. The Man City have got over £200 million to spend this season. United have got £132 million. And it was United who actually won the FA Cup, beating Middlesbrough in the final. Championship Middlesbrough getting all the way to the final. Did not expect that. Erling Haaland with the goal. And Arsenal won the Carabao Cup for the 2nd season running. There was a season preview then. The media thinks Liverpool are going to win the league. And who is... It's Luis Enrique in charge of Liverpool. Oh, they've bought Gavi from Barcelona. Big signing for £98 million. Although he's been done dirty by the dynamic potential. 161. He's a 160 to 190 player, isn't he? That's very, very unfortunate. No wonder they're able to get him for £98 million. He's still very good. But at 20 years old, you see that and you think he's still got a long way to go. No, he hasn't. He's there. They've also signed Youssouf Fofana from Monaco for £88 million. He's already listed. He's deemed surplus to requirements. Okay. He looks a bit surplus to requirements, to be honest. He doesn't look that great, does he? Anyway, let's have a look back at the Premier League. So the season preview, they think Liverpool are going to win the league. United should finish 2nd. City, once again, down in 5th. It's going to take a few seasons, I think, for City to build that squad and start to overtake where United are because of the players that they've currently got. But time will tell. Let's go another season to 2026. So once again, it was Liverpool who won the Premier League, but this time it was Man City who were back in second, and it was Manchester United down in third. So once again, City overtaking United with the basically United squad. Did they sign anybody else? That's the question. Yes, they did. They signed Patrick Wimmer from Wolfsburg for £45 million, who is a very versatile player, let it be known. They signed Alan Varela from Porto, who is a very good talent, to be fair. 158, £57 million. That's a good purchase for me. They also signed Diogo Costa. So obviously Carlo Ancelotti was not that taken with Onana. Diogo Costa for £64 million. And then they signed this guy for $1 million. Got the potential. He's 23 though. He's probably not going to get there. You got this guy, Jordan Carrillo as well, 24. Again, got the potential, but probably not going to get there. Who did they sell? Well, Bruno Fernandes left to go to Al Hilal for £153 million. So 153, minimum cost of 121, add-ons 153. So that's very good transfer dealings for Manchester United, because in my rebuild, I sold Bruno Fernandes and brought in Jamal Musiala, and it was basically, I think I got about 100 million for Bruno Fernandes and spent 106 on Jamal Musiala, so it was basically paying 6 million for an upgrade of a younger player. But the fact is they've made clear profit here. 153 million compared to what did Jamal Musiala cost? 107. Yeah, there you go, 107. So lovely bit of business, and nothing's happened since we've ticked over. So no transfers here. Manchester United, on the other hand, well, Unai Emery's still here and in charge. He's got 111 million pounds to spend remaining. The original budget was 41. This is a problem, that the money at United is also a problem, isn't it? That he's going to have to contend with that. 70 million pounds sold. Mateus Nunes sold for 44 million pounds. They also sold Jan Couto to Juventus for 25.5 million pounds, which in my opinion is a mistake. I think he's a very, very, very good right back. Spoiler, on the updated database, he's actually on loan at Borussia Dortmund. And I've done a rebuild with Dortmund, which will be coming very soon. Might even be out before this, to be fair, if I get it recorded and edited. But anyway, Jan Couto, very good right back. Had an optional future fee. So we did our best to exercise that. Spoiler, we did it. £25.5 million though, I think that is a mistake. That is a big mistake, because he is there. Potential ability 163, current ability 150. He's more of a he's a very Brazilian fullback, isn't he? Not the best at tackling, but in my opinion, he's okay. He's very good as an attacking fullback, and that's what you want. That's what I want for my fullbacks as well. Like dribbling and crossing being up this high, and tackling still being passable for me is better than tackling being up at 16, 17, and dribbling and crossing being passable. I'd rather have those two being better, just personally, from my fullbacks. Yeah, I might concede a few more, but do you know what? I subscribe to the philosophy, we'll score more than you. I'd rather win 3-2 than 1-0. So anyway, they've sold those two players for £70 million. They also, well, okay, so here we go then. Victor Gyökeres has come in for £51 million from Sporting, which I think is hilarious, considering that Ruben Amorim's come in as the manager, and there is rumour that he will want to bring some of his players from Sporting to United, and one of them, of course, being Victor Gyökeres, because he has been unbelievable this season, or last season and this season. His goal return has been unbelievable. In Europe as well, you might say, oh, it's just a Portuguese league, but hey, he's in that league, he's got to do it. He is doing it. He stepped up to the Portuguese league from the Championship. I mean, he's a bit of a late bloomer, isn't he? Because, I mean, when did he go there? In 2023, he's already 28 in this save game. So we're a couple of years on. He was at Coventry from like 22 to 25, and then 25 to 27 was at Sporting, and now 2026 he's 28. So yeah, so playing for Coventry in the Championship for quite a while, and again 41 and 110, not the best, was it? Not the best. Anyway, Victor Gyökeres going to United. I think that's quite funny. Danny Vivian from Athletic Bilbao. Now this looks like a decent signing, £54 million. And he's a 158 current ability. So yeah, not a bad player at all. And of course, Marcus Thuram from the Blue Neri, £81 million they spent on him. And he's a 170. So yeah, pretty decent window. Who have they sold? We saw they'd sold a Kanji. Jack Grealish went to Al Ittihad. Nathan Ake also went to Saudi in Al Ahly. £57 million rising to 73. Now was a very good bit of business for Manchester United. That's it. The transfers there. So they've got quite a few players that they've got sold, and so they'll be bringing some more players in almost certainly. This season, the media thinks that United are actually going to win the league, but they haven't up to this point. They haven't been winning the league. They've been actually underperforming. They think City are going to finish 4th. So both teams are on the push now. The media thinks that they're both building those squads and on the rise. So, another season. Let's go. PSG want Erling Haaland. Bernardo Silva is under a £110 million bid from Al Ittihad. So, the Premier Division, once again, won by Arsenal. Both Manchester clubs failing to win the league. United in 2nd, City in 3rd. So, once again, City are on the push. Season budget, 214 million. They've got 169 remaining. So, they've already spent some money this season. Okay. Who have they bought this season? They've bought Jack Grealish. They bought Jack Grealish. I said it might happen. I didn't think it'd be Jack Grealish. They spent £42 million on Jack Grealish from Al Ittihad, who bought him from United. Saudi Arabia have made a profit. Al Ittihad have made a profit on Jack Grealish. I'll just leave that there. Nicholas Seewald as well from Leipzig. They bought him for £69 million. These are all last season's transfers. Now, another season, that was last season's transfer. Jack Grealish was this season's, 21st of the 6th, 10 days ago. Nico Williams for £150 million from Athletic Bilbao. 171. Big money. You expect it from City. City do this all the time. They do spend big money on players. So, hey, if he performs and does well for them, you're going to do. Who else did they sell? They sold Varane and Amad Diallo. So those two players left. United have got a remaining budget of £82 million. Started off at 79, basically. They've made a little sale. They've made a big sale. 3 sales, in fact. They've sold Harrison Parker, Jeremy Doku, and Strahina Pavlovic. So Strahina Pavlovic, he came in for 25.5 and he left for 24.5. Barely played. That's very United. £1 million loss. Jeremy Doku gone for 32.5, also to Atletico. But stuff's happened at the back end of last season, surely. So what's happened then last season? So Abakar Silla was signed by Manchester United at centre-back. Joris Chotard from Montpellier as well. Nice defensive midfielder. He actually looks very good. 153. Looks a bit better than a 153, to be perfectly honest, but what the current ability says. Mika Marmel. He's got very varied dynamic potential, I think, this guy. I've seen him before and he's been meh. But he's made it. 157. He looks pretty good. Josh Doig from Sassuolo, left back. Tej Kavar, goalkeeper. Michael Rose from Hertha Berlin. He is a regen who's got very good potential and he's a perfectionist. So that's pretty good. Pretty good indeed. And then Billy Gilmore from Brighton has just been signed. So he's been signed here for 60 odd million pounds. And then some of the transfers that have just gone out over here, 58 million pounds. They also, that was Claudio Chevy went to Chelsea. Yeah, so they've got a bit of money to spend this season. So United have got 83 million pounds to spend. City have got 169. Who do you think United will win the league and City will be in 4th? Still Unai Emery in charge and still Carlo Ancelotti. Okay, the last 1 year jump will be now. We're going to jump one more year and then we're going to start to do bigger little jumps just to see how things progress. Well then, Manchester City have won the Premier League first out of the 2 teams. It took 5 years for City to get back to the top, but they did, and they've won it faster than United, even though Manchester United have had the Manchester City squad. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? It's not really the players. It's something that's ingrained in the club. And Football Manager have absolutely nailed it. Because it does feel like that in real life, doesn't it? A player goes to United and it ruins them. That's why I don't want United to sign Benjamin Sesko. I love Ben Sesko. He's been so good for me on multiple Football Managers. I've got such a soft spot for him. I genuinely love him as a player. I would be devastated if he comes to United and United ruin him. So stay away, Ben. Stay away. Man City winning the league then. So, Carlo Ancelotti absolutely buzzing. Look at Nicholas Seewald is the vice captain now, and he's worth 99 to 296 million pounds. He is overpriced at that value. But he's playing regular. He is playing regular. So apart from Jack Grealish, they didn't sign anyone last season. They let Jadon Sancho go to Real Madrid on a free transfer. He was playing a bit. They let Patrick Vimmer, who they signed, I believe, for £45 million go for 11.5. That's very Man United. But it wasn't United. Anada went to Al Hilal. Garnacho went to West Ham for 1.5 million. Done very dirty on his potential there. George McDonald went to Burnley. He's a regen. And then this season, Farias has left to go to Fulham, and Darwin Núñez has come in for a potential £85 million. They've got £214 million remaining to spend. Manchester United, then Unai Emery has got £103 million to spend of £139 million. So we get to season 5, and by season 5, the debt seemed to get cleared. He's not put them into financial ruin like I did. He's not won as many trophies as me, though. And he's had a better squad. So, well, has he? My squad was amazing because I bought them all. Kvaratskhelia, Wirtz, Ben Sesko, just to name a few. There's others. Jamal Musiala, of course. Alluded to that earlier. Okay, so transfers then. Right, so last season, we saw the Billy Gilmore transfer, didn't we? And that was that. Then £260 million coming in. So they saw Mika Marmol to Newcastle. That was, so the potential cost, including add-ons, was £64 million, but they didn't pay all them. And then the potential cost, including add-ons, was £61 million from Newcastle, and they've still not paid them yet. But he's only just gone there in 2028, so it's the end of the season and he's gone there. Al Ittihad did come in for Bernardo Silva for £110 million. And that's where he went. Now, again, feels very reminiscent of my rebuild with Manchester United. They've only gone to side Moises Caicedo from Chelsea. £104 million, a little bit cheaper than I paid for him, but it is what it is. 175 out of 185. Why has he not got to his potential at 26 years old? He's a world-class midfielder. He is fantastic, so can't begrudge him that. Anyway, João Mario from Real Madrid, right back. Sergio Salcedo from Eibar. He is a regen and... hasn't really got that much more potential to give. He looks good. I thought he was going to be phenomenal. He's not. And then Xavi Simons as well. He's been signed for £34 million. Again, he's at his potential and at 156. Oh, he was signed on loan last season and he's £34 million made. There you go. He's been made official this season. He saw Matej Kovar to Aston Villa, that reserve goalkeeper, spare goalkeeper. Here for 3 years, never made an appearance. Warmed that bench nicely. There we go. And they've got £103 million to spend remaining. The media think that they're going to finish top and City are going to be in third. Well, we're going to jump forward 2 years now, 2030. Well, Manchester United came back and equalised in terms of league titles, winning the league. And then it was Arsenal. United in second, City down in sixth. They've not got a manager. Vincent Kompany came in and was sacked. Carlo Ancelotti was also sacked. They've won a couple of Carabao Cups, 3 to be precise. £182 million still remaining. Jared Bowen came in for about £66 million. And then some big signings over here. £168 million spent, but not all really on one big player. They bought Enzo Fernandez from Chelsea. That's a very, very good signing. £81 million, £58 million up front. A minimum cost, should I say. Brian Zaragoza from Bayern, £50 million. Piero Hincapié, another good signing, £48 million. So they've bought well here. Matteo Ruggeri, not bad. And then this season they've just sold Aaron Wan-Bissaka. They sold Jamal Musiala for £67 million to PSG. Are you joking? The worst bit of business I think I've ever seen, and that's from Man City. So it seems like the systemic rot has actually been ported over as well. Unai Emery's still here, £199 million to spend. After Xavi Simons signing, they also went and they bought Pervis Estupiñán from Porto. They don't want him anymore. But this guy from Real Madrid, Nathan Zeze, who he was at Nantes, went to Real Madrid for £14.5 million, sold to United for 24.5. He does not look very happy about it. £54 million sold there. Josh Doig was the big one, and Matej Kovar. Evan Ferguson to Manchester United. Well, £112 million. He's got 11 in 15. He came in January as well. Victor Gyökeres went to Real Madrid. Never really set the world on fire for United. And then this season, we've sold £35 million worth of players already. Abakar Silla has gone to Newcastle. Never really made it in Manchester United. And Maximo Peroni went to AC Milan. Okay, so season preview thinks United are going to win the league and City are now down in fifth. And I feel like City have taken a step backwards. They've had a couple of manager sackings recently. So we're going to jump forward now 3 years. We'll be 10 years in at that point. And it's our penultimate jump because the final jump will be another 5 years on, 15 years, end of experiments. Let's go to 2033 and be 10 years in. So, 3 years ago, Manchester United won the league, City down in third. United beat Chelsea on goal difference. Then Arsenal won the league by a point, City down in fifth. Got Leicester up in fourth. And then City in second, United all the way down in sixth. Luis Enrique is now in charge. Yeah, 32 days ago. Unai Emery, after all those years and all those trophies, he even won a Champions League. Oh my God, he's won 3 Champions Leagues. I didn't realise how many Champions Leagues. We've not been checking in on the Champions Leagues, have we? He's won 3 Champions Leagues with that City squad, and they've sacked him for finishing 6th. They bought Jayhuahua for free, who's now left for £62 million to go to Everton. They bought Lucas Chevalier, goalkeeper. £122 million brought in here. Yeah, good bit of money just sprinkled around from different players. Again, not huge signings over here. These two are probably regens. This one is 155 and a 158. Wanted a bit more. Marcus Thuram's gone to Roma. He's retired now, actually. They're getting £30 million for a player close to retirement. It's not too bad. Huge this season. Huge. Right, okay. Let's have a look at the big fees. Joel Hatto gone to Everton. Luca Netz also left to go to PSG. Ruben Diaz, Costas Gouras, Alex Hollyoak, Billy Gilmore, Rodri, Marcandelli, Canate, Jamie Nelson. All these players out the door. And the big signing here, Bart Verbruggen. Another goalkeeper. Jonathan Rowe from Newcastle. Luca Netz from Newcastle, who signed here, sold here. Literally sold for a loss. Played 9 times all season. And there's just a few other players relatively cheap. They have won a league title. Man City, on the other hand, have not. They've got De Zerbi in charge. He's been here for quite a while now. So, got £110 million to spend. The transfer policy has been £239 million spent here. So, they've Ernesto Godoy. He's a regen. He's 25 years old now. 177. Pretty good. Pretty good indeed. F.A. Ackman. He's real. David Kaloka. £40 million from Ajax. Cody Gakpo from Liverpool, who's now already gone to Feyenoord for free. Came for 2 years. £54 million. 2 years left for free. Mamadi Pereira. He's a regen. 180. Great signing. 40 million. Very good. Very good indeed. £90 million spent here. Brennan Johnson from Spurs, 32. And that's all the big signings there. £108 million received. Nico Gonzalez was the big sale there. £74 million going to Chelsea. Another £178 million spent. Jose Negrão. I think that's how you pronounce it. Not going to revisit that one. £115 million from AC Milan. 182. Very good talent. Tanju Yücel. £35 million from Besiktas, 170 potential. And just a £10 million received that season, and then they've sold Ilkay Yilmaz for, well, put him on loan. Okay, so the media thinks that they're going to be in the top 3, both of them, second and third respectively. So far, United have won more trophies, haven't they? I think they've won 1 extra league. They've won 3 Champions Leagues, which I hadn't really realised. They've won an FA Cup, whereas City have got 3 Carabao Cups. Okay, so final jump. 2038. So, we were last here in 32-33. Was this the season? United down in 6th, City in 2nd. Yes, it was, because United... So yeah, that's where United lost their manager. Following season, City in 2nd, Bournemouth in 3rd. They had a tycoon. Vincent Kompany in charge. Yes, they've had a tycoon. They've scaled down the funding now, but they've had a tycoon. Hey, Champions League runners up. So, Bournemouth in 3rd, United in 4th. City then won the league. Everton in 2nd, United in 4th. Then United in 3rd, City in 5th. City winning the league again and again. So now, past winners, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 for Man City, just 2 for United. De Zerbi's been here for a while. He's also won a Champions League. There were 2 ahead in Premier Leagues, 2 behind in Champions Leagues, from the perspective of Manchester City. In terms of the FA Cups, City have won 1, United have won 2. And then Carabao Cups, it is still 3-0 to Manchester City. Looks like Everton have had a tycoon as well. Unai Emery's in charge over there at Everton. They've had Pep in charge. You've got a tycoon here, Leonard Ehlers. Manchester City, De Zerbi. Yeah, not doing too bad at all. And of course, their squad is all going to be basically regens now, so it's not really worth messing about looking at all the transfer dealings. But we'll look at a couple. £204 million from Newcastle, and he's fantastic, isn't he? 187. Juan Campora, 13.5 from River. What a signing he is. Jose, we've seen him. Diego at 180. £207 million from Liverpool. Mamadi Pereira, 40, we saw him, didn't we? Yeah, 40 from Sporting. Fraser McKnight, he came through the Youth Academy. Pedro Paulo, £44 million from SEP. £121 million for Ernesto Godoy. Matt Holland also came through the Youth Academy, and we'll probably leave it there in the 170s. Okay, we'll have a look at Bibby. £14.25 million from International. Int. Fair play. Manchester United then are managerless at the moment. They've just sacked Luis Enrique after nearly 5 years in charge. All he's won is an FA Cup. Now, they're massively in debt. Okay. Has he been overspending? I know he didn't do this for City, but I just wanted to see what he's been doing. Okay, he spent big there. Not really over the last 5 years. Not really spent over the odds. Kieran O'Malley, so he came through the Youth Academy, a 190. Jack Waterson, he was signed for £12.25 million. He came through the Man City Youth Academy and ended up at Manchester United. How interesting. Evan Ferguson still here. Probably a bit of a club legend at this point. £375,000 for Loreto Hadibi. What a signing he was. Pepe, £43 million from Atletico. I'd argue the Manchester United transfer policy over here for these players is actually a little bit better than the Manchester City one. They spent huge, on some fantastic players. And I suppose we have seen Manchester United have spent big sort of back here, like £90 million on this guy who, 165, maybe overspent somewhat. Sata Sadeghi, well, he's already at Al Nassr. He 160 again. Not bad, but to make a £27 million loss in just a couple of years, it's very United, isn't it? It's very United. Okay, well, that's it for today's experiment. Can you believe it? It did. Man City did. Did they win? I mean, I suppose 4 Premier Leagues. I mean, they are on the rise now. I think if we went another few years, they would probably win some more Champions Leagues and take over, because Manchester United haven't really won a trophy for a long time. They got 3 Champions Leagues early doors whilst missing out on the leagues. And they did get a couple of leagues. Man City have now come back through, and those 3 leagues in the last 4 years and the Champions League has probably tipped them up to be just about ahead. But yeah, another 5 years or so, they'd probably definitely win it. Should we just go a few more years? I'll come back. Okay, it's 10 years. I've got another 10. And, well, Everton have been winning the Premier League. City have got 1 more Premier League. Vinicius Jr.'s in charge. Everton have won 4 Champions Leagues. City have won another 2. So we're now level in terms of Champions Leagues. I did say City would go on and win more Champions Leagues, and they did. They did. Manchester United have been nowhere. Marco Rose is in charge over here. So let's have a look. In terms of the domestic leagues then, they've been finishing mid-table. United are mid-table here. So now all the City players have gone. The systemic rot has come back, and they are mid-table. Marco Rose is trying to drag them out of the doldrums, but unfortunately having no luck. In terms of FA Cups, last 10 years, United have been nowhere near. City have won a couple. Carabao, another 3 for City over here. United haven't had a sniff of anything in well over a decade. So, as predicted, they have kicked on. The fact that Vinicius Jr. is in charge here at Manchester City, I think is pretty hilarious. He's been here for just over a year. His managerial credentials are pretty good, actually, 174. Fair enough. Okay, well, that is it. That is the definitive end to today's experiment. We're going to look at just Vinicius Jr.'s manager profile at the end here, just to show. Actually, no. Everton are winning. Vincent Kompany has been here only for a year. Oh, he was just sacked back here, and he's come back for another spell. And he's already won a Champions League. He's won 2 Champions Leagues and 2 leagues, and he's been here less than 2 years. Thomas Tuchel did very, very well for Everton as well. They've got £223 million in the bank. Everton, they've got, look at this guy, Federico Di Zan, £132 million from Chelsea. He's 32, he's a 198. Ricky Fletcher, 32, £81 million from Bayer Leverkusen. He is on his way down from 199. 188, Harley Bailey, £105 million from Borussia Dortmund. And we could keep going, but we won't. In terms of the transfers, I mean, big transfers. Yeah, nothing massively outlandish. So there we go then. Let's have a quick look over the Premier League, and there we go. Past winners. So City have been finishing in the top, second as well during this time in this last 10 years. 4 second places, a couple of thirds, where we see Man United have been in mid-table. So yeah, it did turn back round for Man City. It did turn back round. I believe the club philosophy is much better at Manchester City, and it shows within the game. I think it's coded very well. So fair play, Sports Interactive. Let's hope FM25 can live up to expectations. But anyway, that's in the future. Let's So that's it then for today. Hope you enjoyed. Like the video if you did. Subscribe if you're new. And most importantly, take good care of yourselves. I'll see you soon.